like to introduce the next speaker. You might refer to him as Jon Robson, and he's Darren's brother. I refer to him as the feel-good guy.
There you go.
We're moving away from the last incident we had. He's a...
You don't have to move that far away.
Okay, so who knows how this is going to go? The reason I refer to him as the feel-good guy because he's a health transformational coach. And what he does is he works with his clients to help them get real profound insights where there's conflict. And he also helps them release their trauma so that they can experience healing on a mind, emotional, soul level, as well as gain empowerment and growth. Ultimately, we share the same commitment and motivation in terms of our life work. And what he's trying to do is really get his clients back on track and have them bring in their full selves to their lives so that they can have fully rounded lives. So really excited to hear his talk and give it up for the feel-good guy.
I didn't even write that. I didn't write that. She came up with that. That was amazing. Yeah. Money later. Yeah, so it was, so far it's been pretty amazing, hasn't it? We've had some wonderful speakers, right? So I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but I'll try my best. So obviously obviously this is the second Mo Foundation, MOEvement conference. I was here at the first one. And I don't know how many people were actually managed to make the first one a couple of years ago. Yeah, nice. And then so who's new? Just so I got a sort of, right, cool, awesome. So it's great. But so from being here last time, I really wanted to be a speaker last time. I wanted to sort of get up here and sort of share with some of the inspirational talkers. But it worked out that this was the time to come up. But when Sue was kind of inviting me to come and be a speaker, she said, you know, I was like, what do you talk about? Like, what is it that you, how do you form like a talk? And she said, like, well, there's two things. Well, she said, like, it's inspirational stories. And at the time, like, I didn't know I was going to get that wonderful intro, but it was like, I'd just come back from the US. I'd been living out there for a few years. And I'd just been through like the mill. Like I'd really had a tough few years and I really wasn't feeling very inspirational at all. My story didn't feel that inspiring. So like I kind of ignored her Facebook message for a couple of days, just like inspirational stories. I'm not going to be able to come up with anything. And she kind of must have picked up that I'd probably stopped messaging her. And so she wrote, all lessons learned. so it was like, all right, sweet. Maybe there's some stuff I can go into here. Maybe there's some learnings that I've learned over the years that might have something of richness in here. And depending on how this goes, obviously as speakers, you'll know you develop a talk and then you run it through in your mind and you run it through in your mind and you run it through in your mind and you forget it a million times and then you remember bits of it, right? And then you forget it some more. And then what you actually get up on stage and actually share, what comes out of your mouth, is usually nothing like what you prepared to say. But I know I've got one exercise that I'd really love to guide you guys through today, that if all else fails, this will win. And if I really forget like where I'm going, what I'm doing, and everything else, I'll be like, so we're going to go into this exercise. But really, like, this is like the purpose section of today. And obviously, purpose is of such importance. None of us would be here, none of us would be here today if it wasn't for our mother's purpose. My mother had a purpose. A purpose doesn't have to be some big, grandiose, crazy-ass thing that sort of is only for the greats, or is some sort of intangible goal that I have to change this entire world, or you know, it can be something that's just so unique to your unique individual story, your unique experience, and just something that's important to you. And based on my mother's experience in her life, her purpose was she wanted to be a mum. That's what she wanted to be. She loved her kids, and that was just the most important thing to her, is to be there for her 4 little ones. And throughout that time, there's been many pearls. Oh yes, I was going to draw something. It doesn't look like there's any paper here. I can do it through art. Sometimes through physical art. So sometimes when we think about purpose, we sometimes can get this sort of imagination that all of a sudden we get this download from God, from life, from love, from all that is, and we just get this sort of download, and all of a sudden, poof, like we're into this sort of magical place of I know my purpose and I am this, and I echo that out into the universe, and the universe bends its will to my every whim because I've found myself. And so, we think that sort of there's this sort of all of a sudden this realization sometimes, and this sort of place that we land where fireworks start going off, people start clapping, and everyone's like, oh, you're now one of the people, you now come to the tribe, if you like. But that's not really the way purpose goes, is it? It's tough, it's challenging. You have this insight, this inspiration that's important to you of somewhere where you'd love to take your life, and then life happens. He goes, oh, you think you're going to do this, do you? Well, did you know that in order for you to be a teacher of that, you have to know what it's like to be the absolute dirt of that sometimes, and it gives you a whole load of challenges, a whole load of beatdowns, because the you that sets the intention to be here and the you that actually is the one who lives that place are completely different. And life will give you all of those challenges that you need in order to refine you into becoming that person that you would love to become. Like my mother, when she had her inspiration of being, I just love to be a mother. It takes a lot. To some people that would sound like an amazing vision. Some people that sound small. It doesn't matter. To my mom, it was unique to her. And actually, the being of a mother is an amazing gift, right? Have you ever sort of had somebody that you've known that's maybe got kids, and they don't necessarily want to be a mother? Yeah. Do you know what that feels like? You can sort of get a sense that that's got a certain sort of frequency to it, that's got a certain sort of experience to it. And then you've got those that are a mother and they're truly embodied in that. They truly love being that. Can you get a sense that there's a difference between those two things? Right. And so the journey towards becoming a mother was like a one of, along that journey from where you start to where you want to get to, you're sometimes up, you're sometimes down, you sometimes have a win, you're flying high, something's going really good for you, and then sometimes you're in the deep depths of despair, and nothing you do is kind of working. As you face some of those big challenges that we've been hearing about today. And in a lot of ways, that's the journey that you need to go for in order to get to where you want to go to. And there was a pivotal moment that obviously happened with our family, which was the day Mum passed away. She died of during an epileptic seizure 18 years ago now. And it was so interesting because there were so many actual lessons learned that I've looked back at that moment now to see like so many of the gifts that were stored within it. As I can't remember who was talking about it earlier, but about the gift of death. I think it was yourself. No. But there's many gifts in death, and there's many sort of things that the inevitability of it is something that we think about, but the reality of it when it actually happens in our life is such a gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching moment of like, holy shit. Like, there's nothing that you can actually really prepare you for it. And I remember standing next to Darren. Darren was the one who had to sort of come and kind of tell us or tell me what was going on. And we were standing beside each other at the end of Mum's bed. She's like lying there, and her soul's gone, like separated from the body. She's got some flowers on her chest and stuff, and it's just like holy shit. Like, it's just like, that feeling when you just get ripped back into a reality that you never knew was even possible. And it's just like all of a sudden your dream, your fantasy of what life is removed because this is here now. The only thing that is really real is this moment. So there's a lot of lessons like there was no future for my mother. There were so many fantasies in the mind of what the future could be for her, but none of those became a reality. What was reality was that she'd lived her best life up until that point, and then it was gone. 2 years later, when my life was in a real terrible place, I remember Darren comes in, and he's like, John, like, if you continue going in the same trajectory that you're on, where are you going to be in 10 years? And it was like, I'm going to be not in a very good place, or if I'm still alive at all. I was I was in a really bad way. I was doing a lot of crazy stuff. And he said, where do you want to be instead? And it was like, anywhere different. And he said, what would you love to dedicate, what would you love to do with your life? What do you want to do with your life? And it just came out of me, that voice that you said, that voice that you just don't, for me, I call it the superconscious. You've got this ego that you were talking about, this ego that's like, you're not this, you're not that, you are this, you are that. You got all that sort of bullshit voice, the little voice. But then I think you got this superconscious voice, this voice which is like your higher self, which tries to talk to you in the silent times, to sort of just help you to know who you are, who you really are, and help you to guide you back onto your path. And when Darren asked me that question, that's what happened. Like, this voice inside of me just said, boom, I want to help people with their health. That never come from anywhere. I was in a terrible state of affairs. My life was in a shocking state of affairs. I won't go into too much detail. Maybe over tonight or something. But yeah, it just came out. I'd love to help people with their health. And then, Darren's belief and the family's belief and how we came together around that moment, and we've come together around many moments throughout all of our lives, which has been amazing. What Mum created, Mum created a real solid connection between us siblings, and it's something that through her passion, through her purpose, she unified us together. And in that moment, we came around, and life just took off. Life changed, was able to transform a lot of what was going on and get out of that situation and actually get onto a really positive pathway for me. But it hasn't been like a straightforward road, There's been ups and downs, there's been depression, there's been mania, there's been all sorts of different crazy stuff that can get connected with living your purpose. But there's also been some amazing things. I've been flown around the world to present a different on different stages to share a gift of love. I've been interviewed in DVDs and all that sort of stuff, and all of the good stuff that sort of like lets you know that you're on the right path. And I think that's a really important thing to do as well, is that when we have this vision for our life, we can think that it's supposed to look a certain way, but then along the way, like, there's little breadcrumbs, there's little sort of moments that occur that help us to know we're on our right track. Yeah, help us to know we're on our right track. And it's really important to sort of stop and take a little moment to sort of really appreciate those. And the talk today is all about, one of the major lessons I've learned is the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. It's easy to go alone without friction, and you can make some amazing things happen. But if you want to go far, go together. Go together as a group, go together as a community, because it's so much more fun at the end of the day to be in a room full of amazing people saying to each other, we friggin' did this, rather than sitting in a hotel room or on a sandy beach all on your own, sipping a glass of wine. It's like, yeah, well, that was all right. You know what I mean? I kind of did it. So in the process I want to take you through now, it's just going to help you to just really connect with yourself. It's a process that I take my clients through. So as Linda said, like, I work with people with serious chronic disease, and I help them to get well. All sorts of different serious chronic disease. And this is one of the core principles and core processes that I've learned through the years that helps people to really connect with themselves, really integrate certain learnings. And this is a nice starting point. So have any of you practiced meditation before? Yeah. Right? Has anyone not practiced meditation before? A couple of people. Nice. We did a little bit, didn't we? All right, cool. So most people have sort of practiced some form of meditation. So this is going to be what's called a guided meditation. okay? So I'd really love it if everyone really participates in this meditation. And even if you can't follow what I'm saying or whatever, I'm not going to speak in Swahili or anything, but so just close your eyes. There's so much information on the outside that as soon as we close our eyes, we bring our focus and we bring our attention inside. And that's where all the real magic happens anyways. And just with your feet, have your feet planted on the floor with a nice neutral spine, sitting tall. With your breath, just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathing at a rate of about 4 to 6 seconds on the way in. And 4 to 6 seconds on the way out. And it's just a nice, gentle, rhythmical breath. Tongue can be resting at the roof of your mouth, just gently. And just start to breathe really deep into your stomach. Letting your stomach raise as you breathe in. And fall as you exhale. And just start to let go of everything that's going on around you. Just become very aware and very present with the spaces inside of your own body. Start to breathe into the spaces inside of yourself. Just imagine in your mind's eye, imagine from the base of your feet, there's roots that are growing down into the earth. And just digging down deep through the surface of the earth, all the way down through the concrete, through the floors of London, just grounding you into the floor. Helping you to feel connected to the earth. And imagine your spine as a beam of light. And from the base of your spine, there's a cord, a light cord that goes down into the earth. And send it all the way down deep, deep, deep into the earth. And have it go all the way down, all the way to the very core of the earth. Once you feel like you've reached the core of the earth, just notice there's a place for you to connect to and attach your cord to the earth. This earth, our home, is a magical thing. Everything that you've ever eaten, drunk, sustained your entire life up until this point has been given to you easily and freely from the earth. The wisdom stored within, she's seen the rise and fall of many species, and she still exists. And just feel that love from earth, and that connection and that groundedness that you feel when you connect to her stableness, her steadiness, her givingness. And bring your focus and attention and bring that feeling of gratitude up into your heart and open up your heart to the earth and just feel what that feels like, to feel grounded and connected. as you're aware on this heart area of your body, just notice that out the top of your head, you have a beam of light going out of the top of your head. Now I want you to just go above, follow this beam of light up out of this room. Go above this room, above this building, above London, above England. Go all the way out into space, feeling your connection and looking down on the earth. And then go further. Go further until you're looking at the solar system. And go further so that you're looking at our Milky Way galaxy. And go as far as your mind can take you. And just notice that you're also connected to all of this. And feel the openness, feel the freshness, feel the space that comes from this broad perspective. And breathe that in. It's an incredible amount of light and energy and insight that's available for you. Breathe that in and bring that into your heart. Connect that into your heart. Now we're going to ask 2 questions. It's a basic human right for you to be able to live your life without regret. To leave this life with no regrets, feeling a nice gentle step over into the other side. If there was one thing that you would most love to dedicate your life to, that would mean that you could leave this life with no regret, what would that one thing be? What is that one thing? What do you most love to dedicate your life to? And just make a mental note of that and feel what that feels like. And the second question is, we can know that everything in some way, shape or form serves, and still we can be afraid of things. If I gave you a magic wand and you could remove one thing from all of existence, what would be that one thing that you would most love to remove from all existence? And just make a mental note of that and just breathe that in and slowly sort of just feel what it feels like to have those insights, to have those thinking about the thing that you'd most love to dedicate your life to and the thing that you'd most love to remove from existence. And just slowly, slowly become back aware of the room, back aware of here and now, and open your eyes when you feel ready. Cool. How did that feel? Was that cool? Did everybody get something? Did you find something that you most love to dedicate to? Okay. I've run out of time. Yeah. But yeah, maybe we're about to go into a break. So maybe take the time to actually share that with somebody about what's most important to you. Because what you might find is as you share what's most important to you and the things that are so personal to you, you might find that there's other people that are in the same place. They're thinking the same thing, and they might love to work with you as we move out into our future. Cool? Cool. Cool. Is that all right?
Yeah, I really love that. I love the part that you said that if you go alone, you can go fast, but if you go together, you can go far. And I think a lot of us are addicted to the instant gratification. It's what a lot of us are kind of, with social media, we kind of see success and we want it really quickly without realizing that there's a journey. And we also want to do it alone and in secret. And from experience, it's lonely. It's stressful, and when you hit those rock bottoms, they're harder to get out of. So surrounding yourself with a community who's pushing for the same goal, it just completely transforms your experience. So thank you so much for sharing that.
No, thank you. That was exactly what it is. You know, we think we should go and fight these battles alone. We feel like we have to become successful, and everyone looks like they did it on their own, and so we go out, and like you say, it's just such a lonely journey. And you know, the rewards are boring because you're just rewarding on your own, and the challenges are so much harder. So when we get in community and we build teams, it just feels so much better, doesn't it? To be together with other people, right?
Which is what this is. This is the Mo community. Okay, guys, we don't have too much time because we had that amazing exercise, so we've only got time for one question. So the first to put their hands up. Don't all rush.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask a genuine question.
Usually the best ones.
Say again?
Usually the best ones are genuine ones rather than fake ones.
If you could just say one message today in honor of your mom, because she was a big part of the talk.
Yeah. Just moments with mum were interesting. As you guys know, like, I don't know. Obviously, I only know my own experience. I can't fully know yours, even though you could explain it to me, and I could try and feel it. But I tried to sum it up just recently. In that, it's that feeling of the unconditional love. It's that. She used to have a saying, and she said it to all of us, but probably me more, is I may not always like you, but I'll always love you. and it's like, I was a little shit. But so to have that love, to have that thing that they don't always have to understand you, they won't always sort of, you know, you won't always support their values, you won't always do what they want you to do, but they'll always still have your back and they'll still love you. That was the mother's love. And I think that was what Darren and everyone at Mo has really created, is that Karma's Aaron, Karma's Lynn, Karma's Charlotte, Karma's everyone, Karma's Kiefer, you know, and we'll have your back. Like, we love you as you are, so come as you are and share that, because they are the interesting conversations. Like we have our masks, but I don't want to get another mask. I've seen a million of them. I want to get to know the real you. So I think that's what a mother's love is really about. Is Mo is all about bringing your true self, like, and we'll love you for it, and we'll help you to grow into that as much as you'd love to, or in any way that we can. So thank you. Thank you.
Mo, me, others, everyone.